Interesting to see if Wagner can put up that many points against a stingy defense.
So coming up next, the Wagner Seahawks and the Ithaca Bombers for the right to advance to the NCAA Division III National Quarterfinals.
Westerly Savings, like Wagner College, is a strong institution with a long and proud history. For 95 years, Westerly Savings has given our customers the kind of service they deserve and the kind of commitment they've needed to meet their financial goals. Everything from savings plans to student loans. We're proud to sponsor the Wagner College Seahawks, the 1987 NCAA Division III National Champions. Wagner and Westerly Savings, always headed in the right direction. Member FSLIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Isaac Dioro Jewelers has it all. A full assortment of gold chains, link necklaces, diamond cocktail rings, engagement rings, and much more at our outrageous low prices. The guaranteed lowest prices in all 5 boroughs. You can buy with confidence at Isaac Dioro Jewelers with our 4-day refund policy and our 1-year unconditional guarantee on all gold and diamond jewelry. So come to the leader, Isaac Dioro Jewelers. We treat you like gold.
Wagner won the toss. They will receive. Matt Sullivan with the opening kickoff for Ithaca. And it's taken at the 30-yard line by number 61 of Wagner, George Gaspar. And the Seahawks will start out 1st and 10 here in this NCAA Division III Eastern Regional Semifinal. Greg Kovar at quarterback for the Seahawks. Running backs Tom Pugh and Terry Underwood, the leading rusher in Wagner history. He set an NCAA record this year with 1,809 yards in just 9 games. 1st and 10 on the 30. Underwood and Pugh lined up behind Kovar. Kovar fakes the handoff to Underwood, and the pass in and out of the hands of Tom Pugh. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
So right away, the coach Walt Hamline and Wagner's Greg Kovar goes to a pass, and you see Tom Pugh running back. He's missed some games with the strained knees, coming back today. Tom Pugh, the 6'2", 244 senior from Rome, New York. And surprisingly, Ken, they won on the pass play in the 1st down.
Pugh missed 6 games with that knee injury. Mike Walker and Abe Higgins now in at the wide receivers for the Seahawks. 2nd and 10. Handoff goes to Underwood, goes around the left side, gets about 5. So it'll be a 3rd and 5. He was finally brought down by Craig Penson and Degon Gray, number 36.
Degon Gray has one of the only player injured here today, Ken, and not playing in this game for Wagner is Jeff Sasso. He incidentally replaced Tom Pugh. We might see in a backup to Pugh this game, Mike Mikatuck split end.
3rd and 5 on the 35-yard line. Wagner on the opening drive of the game. Kovar drops the pass for the 2nd time today. And it's complete for a 1st down. Abe Higgins.
Abe Higgins, a 6'3", 215 sophomore from Glenmont, New York, picks up the first biggest play of this game. A big 1st down for Wagner. Coming into this game, Higgins had 23 receptions and 2 touchdowns, 377 yards.
A 22-yard gain for Abe Higgins. And his 24th catch of the season. 1st down on the Ithaca 43. Seahawks don't pass much, and they've passed twice already today. This is Tom Pugh. Gets about 3 yards.
Host of people ganging up on Pugh there. Peter Burns. So linebacker John Howard, on the tackle, as so far Underwood has only gotten the ball once.
Wagner is 1-1 here at Fisher Field in playoffs. Last year they beat Rochester 38-14 here on Grimes Hill with 31 second-half points.
That was a frigid day.
Overall, Wagner 4-2 in playoff history. 2nd down in the 40. Kovar drops again. Looking down the left sideline for Mike Walker, and it's complete at the 10-yard line.
Mike Walker, 6'3", 185, sophomore from Rome, New York, and Wagner will have a 1st down deep, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line where they're placing the ball. So take a look at the replay. Surprisingly, Coach Walt Hamline and Wagner going to the air predominantly early here in the game. Then you see Mike Walker getting behind 2 defenders, beating number 27, Craig Penson. And Wagner's ready to go, 1st and 10.
30 yards on the play from Kovar to Walker. It's 1st and goal on the 10. The pitch to Underwood. Underwood gets inside the 5.
Terry Underwood, 3rd time he has been named the Sports Channel Player of the Week. Also been named for the fifth time out of 9 weeks, the ECAC South Player of the Week.
So Ithaca expecting the run early on, and Kovar with 2 passes of more than 20 yards.
Something we mentioned in the pregame, that could hurt Ithaca as they keep Terry. Kovar has him coming out passing.
Second and goal from inside the 5. Pitch back to Underwood again. Touchdown!
Terry Underwood. Touchdown number 22 on the season, and Wagner takes an early 6-0 lead. They had trouble early in this series, but they come out and take the lead. As you see, Underwood right on the side, banging in the end zone.
Joe Kugelman out to attempt the extra point. He's 22 for 23 this season. Kugelman's kick is blocked.
Like number 73 for the Bombers, try to get it. Ralph Jones, the nose guard.
Now Ithaca could have advanced it and gotten the 2 points, but the ball was dead as Wagner made the tackle. So Wagner with a 6-0 lead here, 2 minutes, 40 seconds in to the first quarter.
So they went to set it up with Greg Kovar's passing, but the final score was on that series was proven to be the key man, Terry Underwood. Mentioned this is only the second meeting between these two teams ever. Wagner lost the first game in a playoff game back in 1980, 41-13. It was a 13-10 Ithaca lead at the half, and assistant coach at that time, Walt Hamline, said after that, when the players came in at the half, Ken, they looked like they were through a war. But Jim Butterfield, the 22-year coach of Ithaca, mentioned that he knew Wagner would be back. That was the coming to life of the Wagner Seahawks.
Joe Kugel, Walter Lopez, I should say, out to kick off for Wagner. Back for Ithaca, Mike Scott, number 33, and Doug Albertsman, number 34.
Interestingly enough, Kugelman attempts the extra point attempts, and Lopez does the kicking off because Lopez has trouble with the extra point attempts.
Also, a kicker on both teams here today from Miami, Florida. Lopez and Matt Sullivan, the Ithaca kicker, both from Miami.
Mike Scott and Doug Albertsman will be back.
A short kick, they keep it away from Scott and Albertsman. It's taken by Pat McLaughlin, finds a hole, and he's finally brought down at the 48, so Ithaca will start off in good field position.
Great field position, 5'10", 195 senior Pat McLaughlin from Brooklyn, New York, nearby Brooklyn. 3 touchdowns on the year. He's one of the third running backs listed on the Ithaca offense. It's a offense known as a veer offense. It's an option offense.
Tom Pasquale at quarterback. Scott in the backfield, along with Parker. First down and 10 on the 48. Pasquale fakes the handoff to Scott. Now he gives it to Scott. Scott breaks through the middle, gets about 9 yards.
Mike Scott, the quickest of the 2 running backs, 5'6", 161 senior from Rochester, New York. Comes into this game with 138 rushes, 1,063 yards. 7 touchdowns rushing this year.
And he's only 5'6".
Coach Jim Butterfield has him with blazing speed.
2nd and 1 on Wagner's 43. Pasquale pitches it back to Scott, gets the first down. Knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Predominantly what we'll see running on the side of the Ithaca Bombers. And we have to see if Wagner can adjust to this type of offense. Ferrum had this similar offense, as did last week's William and Patterson. The Ferrum loss. Ferrum had 386 yards rushing versus Wagner. Last week, William and Patterson had 217 yards rushing versus Wagner. The defense has to adjust to this veer option offense.
Mike Scott, very explosive last week against Washington and Jefferson. 223 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10 on the 40. Pasquale flips it to Scott again. This time a elusive yardage brought down by number 72, Maurice Hargrove.
Also in on it was Mark Smith, but that's something we mentioned in the pregame also. You do not want to have Scott and Parker run straight up the middle. That's where they're deadly. They're going to want to force them to the outside where they can get to them. And there you see right there, Wagner did that, and they made the great play to stop him.
Loss of 7 yards. So a 2nd and 17 for quarterback Tom Pasquale. He's a junior from Endicott, New York. 2nd and 17 on the 47. This time it's Parker. Gets up to about the original line of scrimmage. Gained about 8 on the play. And a penalty. Looks like a late hit by Wagner.
Parker, the bigger of the two, 6'2", 210 junior from Syracuse. He's a bruising fullback. Comes into the game with 123 rushes, 649 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Referee today, Bill Riccio.
Will assess the first penalty of the game.
Personal foul on Wagner, so Ithaca will get even better field position.
Well, that hurts after the great defensive play, the play previous. And that'll give perhaps a first down to Ithaca. Be a 15-yard penalty, will be a first down for the Bombers, and they are all the way down now to the 25-yard line. We have 11:04 remaining first quarter, and Wagner leads Ithaca 6-0.
There was a late hit by one of the Seahawks after the play, hit Parker. Ithaca coming in at 9-1. Their only loss, 21-20 to Cortland State 2 weeks ago. First down on the 25. Pasquale drops the pass. Incomplete, out of the hands of Scott Parker, who led the team in receiving with only 12 receptions.
Team only had 763 yards passing all year, so you're going to see the running game predominantly, as we mentioned, throughout this game for Ithaca.
Scott Parker led the team with 12 receptions. Scott Van Dyke, another split end, had 7. Tight end Kevin McCaffrey had 5. Pasquale only threw 27 passes during the season. This only his 3rd start of the season. Mike Scott again. Gets about 3.
Right up there, one of the Wagner defenders, Chris West, in there. 6'3", 212, senior from Albany, New York. 52 tackles on the year for Chris West, number 3 on the team. Again, the game plan for the defense is to try to keep the 2 running backs around the sides.
3rd down and 7 on Wagner's 21-yard line. Seahawks lead 6-0. 10 minutes remaining first quarter. Pasquale back to throw again. Complete, touchdown, Scott Van Dyke.
Wide open, right up the middle, no one there at all. 5'8", 162 senior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, comes into the game with 7 receptions, 125 yards, and now his 3rd touchdown. Let's take a look at it, as with time is Pasquale, and wide open, no one within 10, 15 yards is Scott Van Dyke. The nearest player was number 25 of Wagner's Jeff Taylor.
Matt Sullivan out to attempt the extra point. It's a fake, the pass, and it's good.
Wide
Doug
open.
Albertsman on the reception from Scott Parker. And Ithaca leads 8-6.
So both players on the pass play, the touchdown, and the 2-point conversion. Player is wide open.
So
and
with 10:03 remaining first quarter, Ithaca leading Wagner 8-6. We'll be right back.
You know, John, I'm in needling Bob to go for his annual physical, but he keeps using the excuse that being we're new in town, we don't have a family doctor he can use. Can you recommend someone?
Gee, Lydia, not offhand, but Bailey Seton and St. Vincent's have a referral service, MedConnect. I used it last year to find a pediatrician for my kids. They were very helpful. I'm sure they'll be able to help you out, too.
Well, it looks like Bob just ran out of excuses.
MedConnect, 448-0372. Peace of mind is a phone call away.
Heil's home heating and cooling systems, the ones that go the distance, anytime, anywhere. Furnaces, air conditioners, and heat pumps. Heil, born to run.
On Staten Island, call Frank Brandifine, 966-5744.
While we were away, Mike Walker returned the Ithaca kickoff up to the 26-yard line of Wagner. Seahawks will start out 1st and 10 on their own 26. They trail 8-6.
Indication so far of what I expected in a high-scoring game. Both teams scoring on their first offensive possession.
And I disagreed with you, but so far it looks like you will be correct. 2 early scores. Kovar, handoff to Tom Pugh. Gets up to the 30, a gain of about 4. So they're splitting the workload between Underwood and Pugh. Pugh has carried 2 times for 7 yards so far. Underwood 3 carries for 15 yards.
We mentioned Tom Pugh. He's still not 100%. There's only a 2nd game back since his injury. And again, as his backup, we might see split end Mike Mikatuk.
Ithaca coming out of the game now. Now Pugh also out. Mike Walker, Keith Johnson in. Split ends. Underwood, the only man in the backfield. Long signals called by Kovar here. Drops back, quick pass to Mike Walker, out of bounds. Good coverage on the play by Lee Byrne.
Craig Penton in and pressuring Greg Kovar as the cornerback in blitzing Kovar. Craig Penton, a 5'8", 170 junior from Queens, New York, has 43 tackles on the season.
Kovar now 2 for 4, 52 yards here in the first 6 minutes. 3rd down and 7 for Wagner on the 30. Another passing situation for Kovar, and it's complete to Underwood up at the 50 in Ithaca territory.
Terry Underwood, not only can he run the ball, he can receive too. He has 21 receptions, 241 yards this year. Check that. That was 3 touchdowns last week. That is correct. 3 touchdowns last week, 288 yards.
22 yards from Kovar to Underwood. So they're using Underwood as a passing threat as well as rushing.
The big first down play, Kenny, has been passing for Wagner.
1st and 10 on the Ithaca 48. Pitch back to Underwood. Across the line of scrimmage up to the 43-yard line. Gain of about 5, so it'll be 2nd and 5.
Coach Walt Hamline mixing up his offense. Ithaca leads at 8-6. So far, it looks like the offense having no problem, both teams, with the opposing defense.
This is one of 8 games around the nation today. 16 teams make the playoffs in Division III. Give you the rundown of the other games after this play. 2nd down and 6 on Ithaca's 44. Handoff Underwood again, brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Ralph Jones. He's only a sophomore out of Utica, New York, but he's one of the leaders of the Ithaca defense.
That's how I'm reading the play, and Terry Underwood. The other Eastern Regional has Cortland State and Hofstra. Cortland State undefeated at 10-0.
In the north, it's Wittenberg of Ohio at Dayton and Adrian of Michigan at Augustana. Augustana, a Division III powerhouse. Ken Anderson, former Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, former Augustana quarterback. 3rd down and 8. Kovar for Keith Johnson. Underthrows him. So it'll be 4th down.
No chance there for Johnson. Again, Craig Penson around the ball, and that's the first time we'll see a punting situation in this game. And back to punt will be Greg Kovar with a 35.3-yard average, 29 punts this year.
And remember, with Kovar in there to punt, always the threat of a fake. Scott Van Dyke back for Ithaca. Well, they don't fake it. Kovar with a good kick. Van Dyke lets it roll into the end zone. So it's barely a 43-yard kick by Kovar. And Ithaca will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20. Getting back to the playoffs, in the South region, it's Widener at Moravian. Widener's most famous football alumni, Joe Fields of the New York Giants, formerly of the Jets. Rhodes of Tennessee is at Ferrum, the team that beat Wagner 40-13 in the opening game of the season. And in the West, Wisconsin Whitewater at Simpson of Iowa, and Central Iowa at Concordia Moorhead in Minnesota.
Simpson of Iowa with the key player Ricky Gales, who finished 2nd to Terry Underwood with 102 points. Underwood winning the scoring title this year in points.
1st and 10 on the 20. Pasquale takes it himself. Gains about 3.
Wagner's defense trying to adjust again to the Veer offense. And Pasquale, that's the first time he's kept it. Predominantly, he's been handing it off to Mike Scott. As now number 82, Scott Van Dyke, comes out for Ithaca.
So Ithaca's thrown the ball twice. They've rushed 6 times, as we expected.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 7. This time it's Pat McLaughlin. Breaks through the attempted tackle attempt of number 19, Chris West.
McLaughlin, his first carry, I believe, of this game. Comes into the game with 350 yards, 57 rushes. Again, he's from Brooklyn, New York.
McLaughlin out of McBurney High School in Brooklyn. Also played baseball, wrestling, and track in high school. A 4-sport high school athlete. It's a 1st and 10. They gave him the first down up on the 30. McLaughlin and Scott in the backfield now. Pasquale calling signals on 1st and 10. Takes it himself again. Gets through a hole and gains about 13 yards.
Only brought down by Mark Smith. I'm not sure, Ken, if that was a mistake on a handoff, because at the hand he was close to his running back, but he could not get. Let's take a look at it on the replay. See, he tried to hand it off to Scott, and he kept it, and Pasquale kept going, and finally brought down by Mark Smith.
Another first down for the Bombers. They're second on this drive. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 43.
Their second possession with 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter. 8-6 Ithaca.
Ithaca has outscored their opponents 332 to 65 entering this game. And they lead 8-6. Scott goes in motion, handoff McLaughlin. Gets about 3, going straight down the middle.
Tackle there made by number 43 of Wagner, is Scooter Whitening, outside linebacker.
Second down and 6.
Gain of 4 on that play. Clock moving. So Wagner tries to stop Ithaca here on their second possession.
Second down and 6. Pasquale again. This time he was brought down by number 99, Troy Henry, his second sack of the season.
Troy Henry, 25 tackles, 10th on the team in tackles, 6'1", 260 senior from Staten Island, New York. And Henry having games that he's had, a couple of games, he had some great games, and there you see Henry in on Tom Pasquale, the quarterback. He's had a knee problem this year, early in the year, Troy Henry.
So a big 3rd and 6 here for the Bombers. They're on their own 45-yard line.
Henry has picked his moments in a couple of the Wagner games this season.
Pasquale drops back to pass, and the ball is knocked loose. It was knocked down originally by Brian Belisle, the left inside linebacker. Ithaca recovers, but they will be forced to punt.
They ruled out a fumble, too, as Belisle, 5'10", 205, sophomore from Plainfield, New Jersey. They didn't rule out a pass. Let's take a look at the replay there. And he does not have it. His arm was not cocked all the way, and Belisle with a great defensive play. So both teams now will be punting, as this is the first punt now for Ithaca.
John Fitzgerald into punt. He's averaging 32.5 yards per punt this season. Underwood and Walker. And we have a penalty now on the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's on Ithaca.
Underwood punt returns averaging 15 yards per return, as is Mike Walker.
So this will move the Bombers back even more.
Only the second penalty of the game. Each team now with 1.
Illegal procedure on the Bombers.
Very cool day here at Fisher Field. Overcast, around 40 degrees in that neighborhood. Big crowd on both sides. Wagner and Ithaca. The crowd was expected to be around 5,000.
Fitzgerald standing on his own 15. High snap. Underwood takes it on his own 37. He fumbles. Ball is loose, and it's Wagner football.
Did well to cover up. They were right in on him. Terry Underwood catching the ball and then dropping it, luckily falling on it immediately. Number 38, Lee Byrne, was one of the players in on Terry Underwood.
33-yard punt, just about Fitzgerald's average. So Greg Kovar will lead the Seahawks now, 1st and 10 on their own 37. Kovar broke the 24-year-old school record for most completions in a season and a career. He completed 133 out of 228 passes this season, 1,810 yards, 1 yard more than Terry Underwood rushed. This is Underwood, gets about 2, so Terry Underwood, excuse me, that was Tom Pugh. So Pugh now with 3 carries for 9 yards.
It's surprising. Both coaches mentioned they're not sure what's going to happen here today. Basically, though, they're going to try not to make mistakes and go with what they have done that got them here. And it's Walt Hamline mixing up his offense, not only going to Terry Underwood.
Underwood has carried the ball 5 times and Pugh 3 times. Second down and 9. Wagner on their own 38. Ithaca leads at 8-6. We're still in the first quarter. Kovar back to pass, intended for Keith Johnson. Incomplete. It was in and out of the hands.
Sean Greeley almost had that ball, and he had 6 on his mind. 5'10" senior, 184 from Syosset, New York. He has 1 interception, and he had 6 on his mind. Perhaps we see it many times, players looking for the ball, looking for the score, rather, before they have the ball.
We've just received a score. Cortland leads Hofstra 3-0 in the first quarter in the other Eastern semifinal. 3rd and 9 for Wagner on their own 38. Another passing situation here for Kovar.
They've come up with big third down passing plays before.
Kovar being chased. Complete to Mike Walker. Not enough for a first down, however. Little extracurricular activity as Mike Mikatuk went charging into number 38, Lee Byrne. And Kovar will punt here for the second time today.
Kovar did well to get away from the pressure as he had to come across the field and back to complete that pass to Walker, but as Kenny mentioned, not enough for the first down.
Scott Van Dyke, number 82, back for the Bombers. End over end. Kick by Kovar, taken by Van Dyke at the 18. Knocked down at the 22-yard line, where Ithaca will take over.
Van Dyke appeared a little nervous and a little tentative on picking up that ball. The hit was finally made by Wagner's number 20, Jack Schultz. And for the third time today, it'll be Ithaca on offense. They lead at 8-6. While we have this break here, we have to mention here, on Thanksgiving night, November 24th at 7:30, it's the WWF Survivor Series, where teams of 5 strive to survive. Only $19.95 if ordered by November 22nd, $24.95 November 23rd and 24th. Please keep in mind that only touchdown phone computer orders will be taken on November 24th.
1st and 10 for the Bombers. Handoff Scott. Gets about 6, brought down at the 30.
So if you have a rotary or pulse telephone, please call our customer service department at 447-7312 by November 23rd to place your order for the Survivor Series. Consult Channel 61 for further ordering information.
2nd down and 4 on the 30. 6 yards for Mike Scott there. Scott now with 17 yards on 5 carries. Pasquale really leans way over center. Hand off to Parker this time, and he finds a hole and gets the first down.
Getting it up the middle, that's what Ithaca wants to do, and something Wagner again wants to avoid.
10-yard gain for Parker, who averages 5.3 yards a carry.
649 yards on the season. Now you'll take a look at Parker staying on his feet and finally being hit down. Did well to being off balance, finding that hole up the middle and picking up the first down for the Bombers. 135 and counting. Ithaca leads 8-6 in the first quarter.
Pasquale will pass, knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Pass intended for Scott Van Dyke over the middle.
Incomplete.
Speaking about Pasquale leaning way over the center, Mark Hudak. The offensive line had its finest group performance of the season last week, as Ithaca ran for 359 yards against Washington and Jefferson.
They stopped their 23-game winning streak.
The Ithaca offense has rushed for 35 touchdowns this year, including last week's game against Washington and Jefferson. Only 9 passing touchdowns. So today, the 10th. Pasquale takes it himself again.
Sometimes it looks like he's going for the handoff. Sometimes he's definitely preparing to run himself. Gets so close to the running back to hand it off. That is part of the Veer offense strategy. Just to mention, Tom Pasquale is playing with what he did have an injury this year, a fractured leg. Both teams. He also had a hip pointer in the last week, rather, versus William Patterson.
A minute remaining, first quarter. It's 3rd and 6 for Ithaca on their own 43. Pasquale back to pass, and it's incomplete.
Receiver
Ken Hamill thought he had it, but it was trapped, so John Fitzgerald comes out to punt once again.
Sophomore trying to fool referee Bill Riccio. So a fairly close game. It started off high scoring. It settled down a bit as far as the scoring goes. The defenses have done nice jobs in the last series.
Touchdowns within the first 5 minutes of play. Walker and Underwood back for Wagner. John Fitzgerald standing on his own 29. Bad kick. Out of bounds at the 37.
So perhaps that's the first mistake on both teams, but that's a tough punt. It's a cold day here, as we mentioned here, so that could have been one of the reasons. Coming right off the side of the foot.
Only a 15-yard kick by Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald again averaging 32 yards per punt. And Wagner in great field position now, around their 40-yard line. Call it the 41 with 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Pugh lines up in front of Underwood. 40 seconds remaining first quarter. Ithaca 8, Wagner 6. Pitch back goes to Underwood across the 43.
Underwood carries.
Game is Craig Penson in on the ball. 5'8", 170 junior from Queens, New York. Stopping Terry Underwood on that play. And do not think they'll get another playoff here in the quarter with 20 seconds and counting.
Penson had a good game last week against Washington at Jefferson. Named one of the team MVPs at right cornerback. 10 seconds left first quarter. 8-6 Ithaca.
5 now. Let's see if Kovar wants to get this off. And he does.
Little mix-up there at the line of scrimmage. Kovar, far sideline for Johnson, incomplete. And that'll do it for the first quarter. So Ithaca leading Wagner 8-6. We'll be right back.
Rolex and your official Rolex jeweler share a commitment to quality, symbolized by the display of this crystal prism. Achievers such as tennis champion Chris Evert wear the 18-karat gold Rolex Lady President with confidence and pride. The timepiece that sets the standard for excellence. Look for the Rolex Prism, your assurance of authenticity, only at your official Rolex jeweler.
Visit Ben Marino & Sons, B&A Jewelers, Staten Island's largest jeweler.
Most people think commercial banks are all alike. Truth is, they're not. Gateway is different, really. For one thing, most large banks tack on heavy service charges for business checking accounts. Not at Gateway. All you do is keep a balance of $1,000 in any account and your business checking is free. See, there really is a difference.
Gateway State Bank, Dungan Hill, St. George, Eltingville, and West Brighton. 979-4000. There really is a difference.
If you're like me, you want your engine to perform. You want it to run clean, and you don't want sludge. That's why you and I both need Quaker State with QSX. No other oil runs cleaner or fights sludge better. And the Quaker State I use in my car is the same oil you can buy right off the shelf for your car.
Quaker State. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
All grades of Quaker State motor oil are on sale, only 99 cents a quart at a Q.